Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be answering the same question than yesterday, but a little bit harder. In this case, we have one more gene, which is going to be the phantom gene. The reason to making this video is that the original comment was 2 weeks old and I didn't really answer with the video until now. And I guess that was time enough for the subscriber to realize that their geckos had one more gene coming into play. So they sent me the lineage through Gmail, which is admin@carebugs.com. If you want to send me something, you can send it there, or our Instagram page. So I opened the images, I'm going to put them in here, and I analyzed a little bit the genetic background of these two geckos that are ideally going to breed in the future. So without further ado, let's see what these two crested geckos can produce. So just like yesterday, I'm going to be going over the genes in this pairing really quick. The first gene that we have here is a red base, which is a recessive gene. So we need 2 copies of this gene in order to express it, the same way for the phantom gene. Therefore, we need 2 letters of this gene in order for the gecko to be phantom or red. Lily white is a recessive lethal gene, which works the same way that an incomplete dominant gene, but 2 copies of this gene produce a dead crested gecko, and the cappuccino is an incomplete dominant gene, which means that we only need 1 copy of this gene in order to express it, and 2 copies of this gene would be the superform. So we only got lineage for the female, but this is all that we need for this pairing. We know that the male is just a red phantom because we can visually see that it is expressing the red coloration and it has no pattern. Therefore, it is a patternless or phantom. So remember that red and phantom are recessive, therefore if we see it, it means that it's carrying both copies of this gene. However, since we don't see lily white and we don't see cappuccino, since these 2 genes express with just 1 copy and we don't see these genes, it means that it's not carrying the lily white or the cappuccino gene. Now moving on to the female, she is a heterozygous phantom red lily white cappuccino crested gecko, which can also be considered a heterozygous phantom red frappuccino crested gecko. The frappuccino is a mix of a lily white with a cappuccino. I'm not really sure if we can consider her a red crested gecko, but that is what the subscriber told me, so I'm going to act as she was a red. Now with cappuccinos, it kinda distorts the color a little bit and it can enhance it or change it in some ways. So I'm not sure if it's carrying 1 copy or 2 copies. Since the mom is a phantom, we know for sure that the crested gecko has 1 big P, which is 1 copy of the phantom gene. Now we're going to act as if she was a red crested gecko, meaning that it carries 2 copies. She does look pretty red to me, and a heterozygous red would only have really low red on the neck. So we're going to be acting as if she had both of the copies of the red gene. Now we have to write down what we think that these genes are. Thanks to the lineage and the phenotype, which is how a gecko looks, we can get the genotype, which is what the genes are. As I've said before, since the red and the phantom gene are both recessive, if we see it, it means that it's carrying 2 copies of that gene. Therefore, the red phantom is going to be big R, big P, and small l, small c, because we don't see the lily white and don't see the cappuccino. Now, since we have figured out that the mom is a heterozygous phantom red lily white cappuccino crested gecko, she's going to be big R for red, which is 2 copies, big P, small p, for phantom. Since the mom has 2 copies of the phantom gene, when the mom has kids with the dad, she is going to pass 1 of those copies. Now the other copy might be passed from the dad or not, and in this case the dad did not pass a copy of the phantom gene since the crested gecko in question is not a phantom. Therefore, we know that she has 1 copy and not 2 and not 0 of the phantom gene. Since we can see the lily white, she has 1 copy of the lily white, and since we can see a cappuccino, she has 1 copy of the cappuccino. So big R, big P, big L, small l, big C, small c. Now what we're going to do with the genotype is make the possible combinations of these letters. For the red phantom, since the only possible combination that we can get out of these letters is big R, big P, small l, small c, that's the only one that we're going to have to write down, and that is going to make our Punnett square way easier. For the heterozygous phantom red frappuccino crested gecko, we have big R, big P, big L, small l, big C, small c. So all of our possible combinations are going to have a big R, half of them are going to have a big P, half of them are going to have a big L, and the other half of them are going to have a big C. So make the possible combinations. It is pretty easy once you do it a few times, but it can be a little bit hard to find all of the possible combinations if you're doing it for the first time. Now we're going to write down all these possible combinations, the ones from one parent on top and the ones from the other parent at the left or right of the table. I usually do the left because it's easier for me. And then we match the possible combinations to get a full genotype. Then I did another table to the right to write down the phenotype, which is what the crested gecko is going to look like with that genotype. Since there are no repetitions on the genotype or phenotype, the possibilities of hatching each one of these crested gecko phenotypes is going to be 12.5%. Therefore, let's say that you want to make a red phantom out of this pairing, you have 12.5 chances of making a red phantom. Let's say that you want to do a red phantom frappuccino, you have also 12.5% chances of making a red phantom frappuccino. The possible kids that we're going to have from this pairing are a red phantom frappuccino or lily and cap, a red phantom lily, a red phantom cap, a red phantom, a heterozygous phantom red lily cap, a heterozygous phantom red lily, a heterozygous phantom red cap, and a heterozygous phantom red based. These four last ones that have a heterozygous phantom genotype won't visually show the phantom gene. However, they will be carrying one copy of this gene, and this is important because if you're pairing that crested gecko up with another crested gecko that might have a heterozygous phantom, you have a chance of hatching out a phantom crested gecko, and that might not be in your plans. So that's why it's important to know lineage. Alright guys, that is all for today. I hope this video was useful, especially for you, John. And if you guys have any question, just feel free to comment or send us an email or a DM on Instagram. We are available almost every single time of the day, so feel free to contact us and we'll answer right away. We will also try to make a video answering your questions if you have any questions, and feel free to just reach out if you need to. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.